Tax time may be one of the most challenging and stressful times during the year because of all the different forms that you may be receiving from financial institutions, including forms that you may receive from your IRA custodian or trustee. Let's give you a rundown of some of those common forms you may be receiving from your IRA trustee or custodian that need to be incorporated in your tax return. To start off, let's take a look at the IRS Form 1099-R. The 1099-R is sent by an IRA trustee or custodian if you, the IRA holder, took any sort of distribution from your IRA. Now, the taxability of the distribution needs to be determined by you along with your tax advisor. Now, some of the key points of the IRS Form 1099-R are as follows. Box 1 reports the total distribution distributed from your IRA. Box 2A generally depicts the amount that is taxable or not taxable. Now, Box 7 will depict the appropriate IRS code that will tell the IRS whether or not you, the IRA holder, is subject to a 10% penalty or not subject to a 10% penalty, as well as whether or not the distribution is taxable or non-taxable. Now, distributions from an IRA are reported on your IRS Form 1040, in other words, your individual tax return. Now, 4A and 4B are the noted lines on your IRS Form 1040 where these amounts or distributed amounts must be reported. Line 4A reports the amount of the distribution, and line 4B shows the taxable portion of that distributed amount. Now, as long as you have a balance under an IRA or made a contribution to an IRA, you will receive what we call the IRS Form 5498. The IRS Form 5498 reports all contributions made to your IRA as well as the fair market value of your IRA by December 31st. That shows you that you still have an IRA at that financial institution. Now, Box 1 reports traditional IRA contributions and Box 10 reports Roth contributions. If you made any sort of SEP contribution, if you're an employer that has what we call an IRA-based employer-sponsored plan, as an example, the SEP contribution will be reported on Box 8. Now, these particular contributions must also be reflected on your IRS Form 1040. Schedule 1 of your 1040 reports your contributions to your SEP plans, your simple plans, your individual 401k plans, if you're an employer that has one of those particular IRA-based employer-sponsored plans, or if you made a contribution to your traditional IRA and you've determined that that contribution is deductible. Now, additional forms that you may need to complete and file with your tax return is what we call the IRS Form 8606. The IRS Form 8606 keeps track of non-deductible contributions that you've made to your traditional IRA. This is also filed if you took a distribution from your traditional IRA that contained what we call non-deductible contributions. Work with your tax advisor in regards to completing this form that should be attached to your IRS Form 1040. The IRS Form 8606 also reports traditional to Roth IRA conversions, as well as it also will assist you in determining what's taxable when you take a distribution from your Roth if it's considered what we call non-qualified. Lastly, another IRS form that may need to be filed by an IRA holder for their IRA is what we call the IRS Form 990T. The IRS Form 990T reports unrelated business income tax. Another term for that would be unrelated business taxable income, or UBTI. If an investment under an IRA earns what we call trade or business income, the IRA must file its tax return to report the income because it's taxable. Now, the IRS Form 990T also has the same deadline as the IRS Form 1040, which is April 15th. Now, understanding what these tax forms are for and where to incorporate that in your tax return may help eliminate some of that stress for you during this tax season. If you want to learn more, be sure to read through our blog post for more in-depth information on these tax forms.